captain speaking with just a little flight information. Coming up on the left, we're going to be catching a glimpse of the Grand Canyon. On the right, you can be able to see the Hoover Dam in just a few minutes. Couple little facts here. I'm packing a Colt King Cobra. That's a .357 caliber firearm with a black rubber grip and a 6-inch barrel. Also, the co-pilot is carrying a Kimber Custom Defense pistol with all the bells and whistles.
Portland, Maine is so beautiful. I wasn't here for more than 5 minutes and I had already decided this was a place that I would love to come back and explore. To find some lobster. I consulted Facebook and my co-workers agreed that the place to go was Luke's. Okay, I have a quick story time for you. Please understand as I tell you this, I'm not asking for a comment on whether or not you think the COVID mask thing is helping or it isn't helping. That is not the point of the story. The fact of the matter is right now, the world we're living in, sometimes masks are required. The airlines are all requiring them right now, and so are the airports. That's the current reality that we live in. In fact, on my airline, when you go to check in for your flight or book a ticket, it gives you this big disclaimer saying, hey, masks are required right now. They must cover your face, your nose, and your mouth. So you have to agree to that basically to either book a ticket or to check in for your flight. So everyone is informed of this, or should be. So today was supposed to be an easy flight down to Portland and back, down to Baltimore and then back to Portland, an easy turn. But it didn't turn out to be so easy. So we get down to Baltimore and we board the new passengers to go back up, and then someone rings the call light. And I go back to see what's going on, and they say, hey, this man over here is refusing to wear his mask. So I turn to the gentleman and I say, hey, sir, you need to wear your mask. He apologizes, covers his mouth and nose, whatever. I think everything's okay. So I leave and go back to the front of the plane. It's not 2 minutes later that someone doesn't ring the call out again. I come back and I say, what's going on? And they point to the same exact man and they say, he's not wearing a mask. So I turn to him a second time and I go, sir, we already talked about this. I'm going to need you to wear your mask. And again, he complies. And I'm thinking, am I going to have to deal with this all the way up to Portland on this quick flight? Anyway, he apologizes. So I go back to the front of the plane and I'm telling the pilots of the situation. And we're getting ready to leave, and I think, okay, no more problems. The rest of the day is going to be good. And all of a sudden, the pilots find something wrong with the plane. One of their indicators go off. It's not a major emergency, anything like that, but they make the judgment call that this needs to be fixed. Come to find out, we're going to need another plane because they're going to have to fly somebody in and fix that plane we're on. So anyway, we deplane all the passengers, and they're in the airport, and I decide to go get my some ice cream, and I'm walking around, walking to the new gate. Finally, we get our new plane, and before they start the boarding again, the operations agent comes up to me and she says, hey, just so you know, we're having a problem with one gentleman out getting ready to board who doesn't want to wear his mask. And I tell her, oh, I bet I know exactly who that is. I describe what the man looks like. She says, yeah, that's him. So I'm kind of rolling my eyes and I said, okay, at this point I probably shouldn't let him board because I know it's going to be a problem on the plane. But I say, go ahead and board and I'll talk to him one more time. So she boards all the passengers, and just with my luck, he happens to sit in the front row. This is good because I'm working in the front of the plane and I can address it up front. So he sits down, and guess what? His mask is off. So I say, okay, sir, This is the final time. This is the last warning. I need you to cover up your face. And most flight attendants at this time, they would just deny boarding because they've already told him a couple times, and we shouldn't have to tell anybody anything more than once, if I'm being honest. So I say, this is the last warning. I need you to cover your nose and mouth, and we're not taking you to Portland if you don't do this. And again, he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just not used to this. This is my first time traveling since the pandemic and blah, 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 blah." And I say, "That's okay, but now you know, no more warnings." He says, "Okay." So I turn around and tell the pilots. And the pilots are telling me, "Well, why are you letting him board at all?" And so I'm kind of laughing and I'm kind of going, "I don't know. I really don't know why I'm letting him board at all." But anyway, I turn around and guess what? His face is out of the mask. So I very professionally and kindly, I say, "Sir, go ahead and grab your bag. Let's go off the plane. We need to go talk to someone." He says, "No, I need to go to Portland." He had some kind of reunion he was going to. And I said, "Well, you can go to Portland later, but you're not going on this flight." And he says, "I'm staying right here." So I turn around and I tell the pilots the situation, and they call customer service in Baltimore. Luckily, customer service agent in Baltimore is huge. So he shows up looking like a linebacker or a bouncer or something. The guy takes one look at him, stands up, grabs his bag, and leaves the plane. So I'm glad he was off. His friend went with him. At first his friend was like, no, I'll make sure he wears his mask. But by that point we weren't going to have that conversation. We were already running late from this mechanical difficulty, and we wanted to get up there, and we wanted to go to bed at this point because we had a shorter layover that night, and all these passengers wanted to get to their destination as well. So needless to say, he did not fly to Portland that night. I hope he made it to his reunion, but sorry, dude. Sorry, not sorry. By the time I got to the hotel, I was over it. I just needed to go to bed. I went down to the bar and grabbed some fish and chips for dinner, took it back up to my room, and slam click, as in I slammed the door shut and clicked the lock. I slept really well. I only had one flight back to Denver the next day. Hey everybody, I just had 3 days off and now I'm back at the airport to work another trip. Today I have 3 legs to Columbus, Ohio. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm getting ready to go to North Market. I had kind of a lazy morning because that's what I do on PMs. I just don't get up for a while. I prefer AMs, but we'll talk more about that later. Anyway, I'm off to North Market. If you've ever been, if not, you should check it out. It's kind of like Reading Market in Pennsylvania, but a small version. So you walk around and there's tons of food and stuff, and really good ice cream and all that. So I'm gonna go get that for lunch. I'm pretty excited.